One of the things I get asked about the most is leash walking. So we're going to try to work on that today. It might be a little difficult to show you. Raider knows when it's training time and it's kind of hard to record on the street, so we'll give it a shot. Leash walking is all about consistency, like a lot of the training that we do. So with that, it's really tedious at first when you're training your dog how to walk on a loose leash. It's a little bit different than heel, but if you train heel as you're training leash walking as well, it can help kind of meld those skills. If you've got a dog that can heel, they can walk on a loose leash. One of the most important things is when you begin walking your dog, this can change from time to time, but at the beginning of walking your dog, decide how much leash you're going to give them. Sometimes I will give my dog all 6 feet of the leash. Sometimes I give him a foot. With Raider, I give him about 2. And if you change this up during your walk, sometimes they have 6 feet, sometimes they have 2 feet, then they don't know what you want from them. They don't know what they're supposed to do, and you're both going to get frustrated. So make sure when you set out, you choose how long you want the leash to be, how much you want them to have. With the way that I train leash walking, there's no yanking or anything from me. He is going to be the one doing all of the pulling. So the basic general idea of leash walking is I've got him on as much as I want to give him, and I'm going to start walking, and before he gets to the end, I'm going to stop. So about a foot before he gets to the extent of the leash, I'm going to stop, and that should, if I do it the timing good enough, correct timing, it should cause him to pull against the leash, so when he gets to it, there's that forceful stop. Wait a second at that point, back up. Now I'm going to keep backing up until he's voluntarily following me. If you're backing up and your dog is still pulling forward and kind of being dragged, then you keep going. No yanking, just consistent pressure. You just keep backing up until they turn around and follow you willingly. Then you stop. When they get to you, you can either give them a treat or some love, and then release them, say, okay, and you can keep walking. That's the general idea. A lot of the time when you first start leash training, you're going to have to stop every 2 feet. Now I know that's annoying, it's obnoxious, but doing that right at first will have you long-term a good dog that listens, rather than, for 6 months, a year, their whole life, constantly yanking on him, pulling on him, that sort of thing. Another note before I try to show you, we'll see if he's too good today. I've got a Wonder Walker on him. It's my favorite kind of harness. It's the only one I use with my own dogs, other than alternates like the face harness. And I've got it clipped in the front of his body, because when you're leash walking, if you clip it on their back, that gives them more leverage. If you clip it on the front, when he gets to the end of that leash and gets that yank from his momentum, it should turn his body slightly to the side, which just helps you have another little piece of that leash walking, getting him to pay attention. So let's see. Oh, I know you're a little confused what we're doing. Let's see if he's too good today. Are you ready? So I'm going to choose, my hand is going to be here, this is how much I'm giving him. Yes. 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 Right away. Yes. Now, with Raider, I'm purposely not using treats today because I know if I bring the treats out, he is going to be locked onto me at all times, and I kind of want you to see what I'm talking about here. That guiding word is really important. So the moment he does what I want him to, the moment he stops and turns to look at me, that's a yes, a very good marker of that's what I wanted you to do. That was very nice. I also try to keep him on the same side of me consistently. Sometimes, since we're at the beginning of this, he'll come and stop right in front of me. So I'll go around him to get him on the right side. It's just a whole lot easier than pushing him around. You can use a treat to lead them back to where you want them, but again, we're not using treats today. for the reasons that I talked about. So let's see one more time if I can show you. Getting his attention. Good boy, telling him, yeah, he's doing very good. Yes, leading him where I want him, but okay. Walking forward, I'm going to stop. He gets to the end, wait a second, back up. Yes. Sometimes I'll walk in a circle to get their attention. Yes. Stop, let him yank.
Good morning.
Walk backwards. Yes. The moment he follows, I tell him that yes. Good. See if he'll do it one more time for you. So with what just happened here, he's very excited. A dog just passed our street. I'm not going to just try to go right into that leash walking because he's distracted. He's set up for failure. I'm going to stop and get his attention before we even start again. Yes. Good boy. Good. Now again, I'm doing this without treats completely. It's all about just verbal praise. He's a little stressed. He's panting a little. That's okay. We're learning a new skill. I'm just going to take it slow with him. Good boy. So again, to get him on the right side of me, I could lead him back to where I want him. But instead, I'm just going to move my body so I'm where I'm in relation to him of where I want him to be. Get his attention first. First, put him on the right side of my body. Good. I'm going to stop. He gets to the end. He yanks. Back up. Yes. Good boy. Stop. Back up. Yes. Good boy. Okay. Keep walking with him. Good boy. Yes. Good. Another thing with this is just changing it up. If I'm walking a dog that's having some real issues paying attention, super distracted, then we're in a leash, a fenced area, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the leash for him. I will change direction unexpectedly, and I will turn corners that I don't need to and go in circles and stop and walk the other way. Basically, what that does is give your dog reason to pay attention. You know, oh, wow, I don't know what they're going to do. I better pay attention to their body movements. And then you have more of a dog that is watching what your body is doing and following you, rather than just, well, I know we're going straight, so I'm just going to go. I'll be in charge. So that's another note on that. Yes. So a quick review of what we just worked on here. Leash walking, it's generally the same thing. So you start with them on your side, wherever you want to keep them the whole time. And you decide how much leash you're going to give them. Say okay, so you can start walking. When they get about a foot before the end of the leash, you stop, let them do the yanking on themselves, wait a second, back up until they follow you willingly. When they get to you, when they start following, you stop walking backwards and tell them that yes. And when they get to you, saying okay, so you can continue walking. Just keep doing that over and over again. Now, there aren't really additional steps with leash training. Basically what happens is if my dog is good at that, then I stop less frequently. I give them treats less frequently. When you go to a new area, you start from step one, because if you have additional distractions, it's going to be harder. So you start from step one again and progress from there. So basically it's just adding in difficulties, different difficulties, decreasing treats, increasing distractions, going to a new area. The more you practice with your dog, the better they'll get, the faster they'll get better. So just remember to be patient. It is one of the most difficult skills and the thing that people kind of struggle with the most. So be patient with you, be patient with your dog. If you want to take your dog on a walk, a lot of dogs I take for trail walking, rather than training, we're doing exercise, so I take them on my 30-foot leash so that we have less pulling, less chance of pulling. So if you're having a frustrated day but your dog needs some exercise, go ahead and do that. Be aware of your surroundings. 30-foot leash enables your dog to have some space to run. You can reel him back in. Just don't try to train with your dog when you're not in the right mindset for it, because it's going to be a disaster for everybody. So just keep working with your dog, be patient with yourself and with them, and meet them where they're at with their skill level.